So up to this point, we've been putting our template directly in the component TS file, and the main reason I'm doing that is so that we can just have everything on one page for teaching purposes. But when you're building an actual application, you're probably going to want to put your template inside of another file, and it's probably going to include more markup than just an H1. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and also how to include a separate style sheet. So if we look at what we have here, we just have an H1 in this template property, I guess you could call it. It's a property of the component decorator. So let's say we wanted to create a separate file for this. So in our components folder, what I would suggest doing if you're going to use multiple files like this is to put each component in its own folder. So let's create another folder in components, and we'll call this sandbox. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is just move sandbox component TS into there. We actually don't need this customer, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so now we have it in there. Now our application is going to break because if we look at app.module, it's looking at the wrong place. So we just want to add sandbox /. Okay, then it's going to look in the correct location. So let's go back here, and then in the sandbox folder, let's create a file called sandbox.component.html. Okay, and then what we'll do is take this H1 and we'll put it inside of our HTML file, and let's just change it. We'll say hello world from the HTML file, and we'll save it. And then let's go back to our TS file, and instead of using template here, we're going to say template URL. Alright, and then we just want to point to that specific file, which is going to be sandbox.component.html. And we'll save that. And let's see, we're getting an error here. That's because we want to put a // right here, letting it know that we're looking in the same directory. Okay, so now we get hello world from the HTML file, so we know that it's loading it from here. So what about styling? Well, we can include inline styles as well. So if we were to go up here and put a comma, and we'll say styles, and we can set that to a set of brackets, and then inside the brackets we're going to put a set of backticks, and then we can put our styles. So let's say we have a class called special, and we'll set the color to green, and let's set the font size to 20 pixels, and we'll say text transform, we'll set that to uppercase. Okay, so that's an inline style, and let's apply that special to our template. So we'll save that, we'll go in our template, and then I'm just going to add to the H1 class special and save it. Alright, and you can see that that has now changed. Okay, so we're including the style inside of the decorator. Now, if we wanted to include a separate style sheet, we can do that. Let me just comment this one out. And then let's go right here, and we'll say styles URL, or no, it's actually style URLs, and then we can set that to an array. And then let's put a file name here. We'll do /sandbox.component.css. Alright, and then we'll save that, and we'll create that file inside the sandbox folder. So it'll be sandbox.component.css. Alright, and then what we'll do is grab from the inline style, we'll grab the special class, and let's put that right in the CSS file. And we'll save that, and you can see it's now being applied. Alright, so you can put your external template and your external style sheets right in the component decorator. Alright, so in the next video I want to take a look at some of the template syntax directives we can use, for instance ng4, so that we can loop through arrays that we set in our component. Alright, so that's what we'll get to next.